Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So you guys have already heard by now the WBC has decided to put Devin Haney in recess as the WBC champion, pretty much stripping Devin Haney, because Shakur Stevenson is now going to be fighting against the highest ranked opponent for the vacant WBC belt. And if Devin Haney wants his belt back, now he has to fight the winner of that fight in a 50-50 split. This makes absolutely no sense at all, because the WBC rule states that when a champion is unable to defend his title belt at the time specified, whether for medical, legal, or any other reason beyond his control, the committee may appoint him champion in recess and call official contenders to fight. But here's the problem. It was the challenger, Shakur Stevenson, that turned down the fight. By Shakur's own admission, he turned down the traditional purse bid split. The whole purpose of a purse bid split is to make sure that the fight still comes to fruition even if both parties cannot come to an agreement. And I'm talking about a champion and a mandatory. That way the mandatory is guaranteed a title shot because he's earned his position, he's worked his way all the way up to the ladder, and he's guaranteed a title shot, regardless if it's against the sitting champion or it's for a vacant belt. But once again, Shakur Stevenson, he turned down the split. I don't think I've ever seen this before in the sport of boxing, where a challenger is the mandatory. He turns down the purse bid split and then is awarded a 50-50 split to fight against the champion. I mean, if that's the case, then all mandatories, they might as well just turn down a purse bid split and wait around to end up getting a better deal that they can negotiate through the WBC. But I got a strange feeling that this would never happen when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. We all know that when it comes to Canelo, the WBC never even thought about making him a WBC champion in recess, to where if he wants to come back and fight for the title, he has to fight David Benavidez in a 50-50 split. We know that that would never happen, which is why Devin Haney has a really strong case to appeal this call by the WBC. The inconsistency of how the WBC has treated Canelo Alvarez in a very similar situation has completely contradicted this ruling with Devin Haney. And this is truly great news for Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson now has a lot of options. He will most likely be ordered to fight against Lomachenko, and what would be a really big fight that I would look forward to seeing. And if Lomachenko turns down the fight, which there's a very good chance he will, then next up in line would be Frank Martin. We get to see a Shakur Stevenson versus Frank Martin fight, a fight that would be huge. But now that WBC has made this ruling already, I wonder if it's too late for Devin Haney to decide to just go ahead and continue negotiating with Shakur Stevenson instead of fighting against Regis Prograis. I know that fight is close to being signed, but it's not officially signed yet. So it makes you wonder, is Devin Haney, now that the WBC is forcing Devin Haney's hand, is Devin going to just go back to trying to land a Shakur Stevenson fight instead of basically letting his belt go? Because that's what the WBC is doing. They're stripping him of his belt. You're not the WBC champion anymore if the WBC is going to tell you you have to fight the winner and give them a 50-50 split, when we all know in a purse bid split, it's supposed to be like 75-25 or 65-35. As a champion, Devin Haney, he did everything he was supposed to do. And once again, it was Devin Haney that was offering the mandatory challenger, Shakur Stevenson, a fight, just for Shakur Stevenson to turn it down. Now, of course, Shakur Stevenson's reason for turning down the fight is he says that it was a low ball offer. Now, if this was champion against champion, like Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, then it would make sense to say, hey, this is a low ball offer. But when you are the mandatory and you're fighting against the undisputed champion, and you're in position to either force the champion to fight you or vacate the belt and hand the belt over to you, then it's not really a low ball offer, especially when we know that the WBC, or all of the sanctioning organizations, they have had this structured this way since the inception, or at least for a very long time. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy that at least Shakur Stevenson, he will now be fighting either Lomachenko or Frank Martin next. And Devin Haney, he starts a new chapter at a new weight class, possibly fighting against the WBC champion, Regis Prograis. And if he moves up to 140 after what the WBC just did, if Devin is not going to appeal that ruling, then he will most likely just stay at 140 and vacate all the belts. That's what I'm assuming he's going to do. Now, some would assume that Devin, he would want to keep the belts so he can have some kind of leverage in a possible fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. But with Gervonta, it seems to me like he doesn't really care about the belts, especially when the guy with the belts is like the most dangerous fighter in the division. Of course, if it was Ryan Garcia with the belts or Teofimo Lopez or George Kambosos, there's no doubt about it. Tank and every other lightweight would be going after all of the belts. But with that being said, I do believe that Tank now wants to fight a Devin Haney or a Shakur Stevenson. I just still don't believe that Shakur or Tank Davis has really cared that much about the belts. It's largely rumored right now that Gervonta Tank Davis will fight against Isaac Cruz next. I'm hoping that we get surprised and he ends up fighting someone like Teofimo Lopez next, because I know Gervonta Tank Davis, he would love, coming right out of jail, he would love to fight a Teofimo Lopez. I don't think he would, fight Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson right out of jail, but he would love to fight against a Teofimo Lopez, and that would be a huge fight. Let's see how it all plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
NWA Cane Corsos proudly presents the Southern Classic Litter. The breeding between Scandafio's Rambo and NWA's Nyla is confirmed, and pups will be here within 30 days. Get ahead of the pack by getting your application in at nwacanecorsos.com. Our pups come with a 24-month health guarantee. Contact us on any platform at NWA Cane Corsos. We stand behind our dogs.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.